What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another installment of Kicking It with Danny, myself, and we're here with another anime list. As you've seen, down below, I'm gonna split this into two, so that if I want to expand on something, I can do it so without making this extremely long video. Because the Kicking It with me's are long, so gonna chop this down to two. But today we're doing a list of my top 10 favorite anime power systems. Of everything that I read. There could be some dope power systems I haven't read, but anime dope power systems are things that I read and watched, and there's some dope ones out there, some really creative ones out there. So without further ado, let's get into this list. So first up on this list is a fairly new manga. It got announced for an anime, but it hasn't been released yet, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of my current favorites, and that's Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen's power system is everything is based off cursed energy, which is really dope. So you have these people who are exorcists, I guess you would call them. They use cursed energy in all different kinds of forms, and they're able to manipulate it, and it's really dope because everyone uses it in a different way, which allows for a lot of creativity. And then you have people who are unable to manifest cursed energy themselves, but there are cursed weapons and cursed items, and they use those to their advantage. And there's some really dope characters out there who take part in this. Also, there are curses as well. So there's curses who are manifested in these monstrous forms, like curses. There's cursed energy, and then the cursed items. There's dope characters that use them. Satoru Gojo is that guy. He's my favorite character in this manga because he's like Kakashi, who knows he's that guy. He got the swagger, he has the skill, he's just dope. They had to go through a well, I can't spoil the story, it's fairly new, so you guys may watch it. But watch it, pick it up. Satoru Gojo is super dope to me. He's my favorite cursed energy user of everyone. He's just, if you read it, you know why. Other than Satoru Gojo, another dope character was Toji. He's my favorite non-curse energy user. Because of his family, he can't use curse energy, but that did not stop him from throwing hands and giving people that work. He actually fought, I can't go into it because it'll spoil stuff, and I want you guys to read it. But I really like the system. I really like the characters. I think that Jujutsu Kaisen fuse both of those really well for a really dope manga. So I look forward to the anime. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So at the first one on this list, I guess that'd be number 10, first half, is Jujutsu Kaisen. Alright, at number 9, it just started. At number 9, I got one of the original big three. I'm not a total fan of what happened in this anime as it progressed, but I must say the system that it had in place, the early stages of it was still dope and all-time great. And now I still can appreciate what it was and could have been, and that's Bleach. So right off the bat, Bleach is dope because of all the different layers that it actually had in there, that even though they didn't expand on some, it was still a really dope system. Because first off, you had your Shinigami. Shinigami used was it Retsu? Yeah, they used Retsu, and they had these blades that could release. So you had a blade which kind of a partner. It had its own personality apparently, and if you knew his name, you can release it to be even stronger. So you knew his name, it became it released to his Shinkai form, which is base 2, phase 2 of the form. And then if you knew his name even more, you go into the Bunkai, and then that's when things got crazy. That's the only thing I liked a little bit about the last arc, was we finally got to see some of the captains, Bunkais that we haven't seen in a long time. But it was really dope how some of them didn't even have to use a Bunkai to give people that work. My boy Kenpachi, he'll give you that work, Bunkai or not. Okay, so outside of the Shinigami, you had the Quincy, which I thought was really dope, that you had this other family who was able to like hold their own in there using something different. And like Quincy used Reshi, and they could manipulate Reshi to do different things, like make spirit weapons and that kind of thing. And like the main way we saw it used was I think the main Quincy that showed us, he always used it to make like that spirit arrow and shoot stuff. He was actually really dope, and they could have did a lot more. They could manipulate in a lot of different ways, which I thought, that's where I thought things got left on the table, because Ichigo was like everything. So it would have been dope after he lost his weapon or whatever, he dabbled more into his Quincy background, and you know, and began to use Reshi, and then maybe made a Reshi weapon that could have been like his next sword or whatever, and then, you know, somehow combined that spirit weapon with his Shinigami background and had a new Bankai in there. It could have been so much greatness. But I felt like in Bleach, the power system was dope, but a lot of things were just used to bail Ichigo out of tough spots. Because the third powers in here, which is some of my favorite, is the hollow power. You had the hollow powers that gave you like the first hollows and stuff. There's like these little, I guess you call them demon spirits in Hasemundo, and like they use Cero Blast and stuff like that, and they would eat other hollows to get stronger. And then you had like the ones that were kind of strong and smart, the Arankar. And then you had Espada, which was like the dope. They're like the lieutenant level, captain level of the Shinigami. So, and then when they use their resurrection, which is pretty much them using their Bankais, that's when things went crazy. I enjoyed them way more than some of the captains. I ain't gonna lie. I still think my boy, I could never pronounce his name, Iwakura got cheated by Ichigo because he gave him that work, and then Ichigo got a power he never used again, but we ain't gonna talk about that. That's not what this is about. But Bleach power system is super dope because you had all of these different routes and people that could use different things. People who didn't even have powers, who just went and fought you and stuff. It was really dope. And then they combined them a little bit, how the Shinigami had a little bit of Aranko power, so they had like, you know, where they could do the mask. Got those masks and they became Visored, some with a V. I thought that was a really dope combination. I wish they would have, Ichigo could have delved more into combining, because his man was everything, but he didn't, and we saw how it ended, unfortunately. But that's Bleach. That's all good. I'm gonna talk about Bleach because I can go on a rant of Bleach all day, and I try not to talk about it because it'll end up with me on a rant. So Bleach is at number 9 on my favorite power system because it's really dope. It's a dope system. No matter what I think about Ichigo himself, it's a dope system. Alright, at number 8 is I read the manga. I didn't watch the anime, and that's Black Clover. We're just gonna get into it. That's Black Clover. I think Black Clover actually has a pretty cool, pretty interesting power system with the Grim Wars, however you want to pronounce it, with the Grim Wars. I think it's really dope how like everyone has like, you know, magic in them, or what they call it, mana, like in video games they call it mana. How everyone has some mana in them, and then, you know, you go to this place and then you get like raided, and then a book chooses you, and depending on like backgrounds, bloodlines, and just your natural mana producing capabilities, you can get picked by a rare book or a common book, or, you know, something whack. So I thought it was really dope how like the books can pick you, and then like the Clover Village, like 3 clovers is common, and then you had 4 clovers, which was like the rare, like, oh, this dude got something special out here. The system is really dope because it comes with like different elements and stuff you can learn, and like some people, like the captain, can control time, and he had like this big ass grimoire that was protecting the whole city and protected everyone. I just like the diversity and creativity that they can do with it. And like when you get your grimoire, how like it shows you your evolution, because, you know, it don't have all your spells on lock. As you get better, as you get stronger, as you develop, you start getting more pages in your book going, and it's a cool idea. So I look forward to seeing what Black Clover does going forward. We still surface level on the grimoires. We haven't learned that much. We learned about elves who are like naturally greater in mana than like normal people, but we haven't learned that much. So I really look forward to seeing what else we're gonna get out of, you know, Black Clover. So yeah, at 8, I got Black Clover. At 7, I got it's an older anime manga that left me wanting more. I brought it up here on this channel before. I think when I was talking to Austin, and that's Soul Eater, man. Soul Eater, it has a pretty cool, like pretty dope, cool, like power system that I thought it was really interesting how everything they worked off like soul, your soul synchronizing with someone else or disrupting someone's soul and stuff like that. So like the idea that you had these people called Meisters who specialize in like weapon usage and synchronizing with demon weapon swords, and demon weapons were people who could transform into weapons. And you and your Meister has to like synchronize together to get the most out of each other. And it's really dope to see them. Like Def the Kid was my guy, and I assumed like he had to be like crazy at the synchronizing because he had to synchronize with 2 different weapons at once. So it's like a triple wavelength they had to get on, you know, on par with. And then if you get like the, what's it called, soul synchronization or soul yeah, I think soul synchronization, that's when you like you pretty much like go like Bankai for in related to something in the past, or you just go crazy. You sync up, you get optimal performance out of the Meister and his weapon, and y'all just go in. And I think like that whole system was pretty cool. Like even the characters that we didn't see much of, like they had this black kid, I don't remember his name, I said it a few times, suck with names. He had like the 2 fist gauntlets. He's like my favorite character in this show, that even though we don't see him, I love him because he was just really dope and really cool. And his design was just cool. He had these 2 little kids that like turned into his like gauntlets, and I think they were like thunder and lightning, and it was just, it was fire. I wish his group had a spin-off because I'd watch it. It was fire. But they also did other stuff other than that. They had magic in there because you had your witches, you know, these other people, I don't know what you call them. I think they were just witches. I'm not sure what you call the Kishin. He was just out here. The Kishin was his own thing. He didn't synchronize with nothing. He just gave people the work. He could disrupt other people's like soul synchronizations. And yeah, also you can use like your soul synchronizations to like do things. Like people use it to heal. The Dr. Stein, who was like one of my favorite characters in there, he used it to like disrupt other people's soul, you know, synchronizations and all kinds of stuff. So I thought that it was cool, the use of like the soul and like the partnership you had to use in there was really dope to me. That's why it's one of my personal favorite, you know, ideas. So yeah, that's Soul Eater. So yeah, we at number 6. End of this first part, and it's a manga or manhwa that I've recently read, been out for a while, and then it recently got animated, so I look forward to watching that. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm gonna wait till it finished, then I'm just go and binge the whole thing, and that's God of High School. It's just super, like, I use the word dope a lot because when I'm watching something, I'm like, yo, that's crazy, that's dope. And this one is dope. They use what you call, starts with a C. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Chakru? It's something with a C. And it's like borrowing energy from the gods, power from the gods. And it's really cool to see how like all these different martial artists use a borrowed power from like these different gods. And they use like gods from like Zeus and everyone to Basilbud and the Monkey King and Tabitha. So it's like from different like actual cultures. So it's really cool to see like how they use these borrowed powers from like different gods and manifest it in like the regular plane while you're fighting and use it to their advantage. That's really fire to me. And then you had like different kinds of like chakyus or borrowed powers, because you had let's see, you had like direct contracts when like the God itself makes a contract with you directly and bestows you with the power. Like one of the guys did, I think his name is Bake, did with the Ox King. He got her horn, and then he became like a direct power lender from her. So he was like, it's extra strong, it's extra potent, And then you have like the coolest ones, I think, is like the direct descendants borrowed powers, and that's when you're like, in your lineage was once connected to that god. For instance, the guy who borrowed power is Hercules. It's crazy because like you're kind of awakened, and you be able to use it to like its optimal ability, and you become like crazy, and it's like, it's just dope, man. You got high school is just all out brawling, fun, good time with its cool power system that allows for creative use, and it was a good ride. It was a fun ride, because not only do you have like the borrowed powers and all that good stuff, you had like national treasures, which was like these weapons, these highly famed weapons throughout the world. So some people had like weapons. Once again, the guy who had Hercules, he had his like national treasure as well, which like made his borrowed power with national treasure from his 12 feats even more like crazy. He's such a crazy character, and even though he's like that crazy, you always had to worry about like the god himself, that boy Mori Jin, the Monkey King. He was the best. Once he got like all his powers back, he was giving everybody that work, and it was just great to see. And it's just a fun ride. I hope the anime lives up to that point, because the manhwa is dope. I was sad because I read it and caught all the way up, and now I'm like, man, now I gotta wait. I don't even know when it updates. It ain't updated yet in like 2 weeks. So that was the first half of my favorite power systems in anime, manga, manhwa, whatever. Let me know what you think. What's in your top 10 or just top 5? You can let me know what you think gonna be in my top 5 based off the names that weren't here, and what's in yours. And we can talk about it. Maybe I want to do more kicking it, where I'm just chatting with people. That part's fun and it's natural and it flows. I want to do more of those. So, if y'all want to talk about anime and stuff, or you want me to have anime conversations on here, let me know, because that's one of my favorite things right now, anime, to be honest. So until next time, we'll be back with the top 5 power systems, my favorite power systems at least. Thank you for watching. Make a like, leave a comment, share it if you can, and until next time,
she just wanna
see
be free. This night's just for me. Yeah, she just wanna be free. Yeah, she tryna party till 3 up all night.